Hey everyone, this is Pete. Now welcome back to Atari A to Z Flashback, a series of explorations of the 150 games that make up Atari Flashback Classics for Nintendo Switch. Today's game is Micro-Gammon, which is also known as Micro-Gammon SB, with the SB standing for Super Brain. The game is developed by a guy called Steve Baker, whose initials are, coincidentally, SB. This was actually an unreleased prototype for the Atari 5200. The 5200 was marketed primarily as a console for sort of arcade style experiences, so Atari didn't really feel that Micro-Gammon fit in with its lineup at the time, so it never got released, despite being finished. So the game was originally developed for Apple IIe, but Baker felt that the Atari 5200's high resolution monochrome mode would be ideal for a port for this game, so it happened. For some reason though, it never got an official port to Atari 8-bit, despite the Atari 8-bit having pretty much identical capabilities to the Atari 5200. Although there is an unofficial port that has been done since by Homesoft, who are one of the sort of archival groups for Atari 8-bit software online. So if you do want to play this on an Atari 8-bit, you can do. But yeah, it would have been nice to have, and it would have probably been more at home on the Atari 8-bit as well. So one of many strange stories from the period, definitely. Anyway, let's go play Micro-Gammon. Okay, here we are once again with Atari Flashback Classics, and today we're taking a look at Micro-Gammon, which never got officially released, but it does have a nice manual for you to explore here. So Micro-Gammon, or Micro-Gammon SB for Super Brain, originally set to come out in 1983, and then didn't, because the Atari 5200 was an arcade games machine. You don't want to do that filthy backgammon on it. Anyway, Micro-Gammon is a one-player, you play against the computer, strategy game where your goal is to move all of the pieces of your colour to a point where you can bear them off. Note that your pieces are represented by white, and the computer pieces are represented by black. It's backgammon. Have we seen? Yes, we have seen backgammon on here already, haven't we? There was a 2600 version that we played a while back. So I'm not going to go over all the rules of backgammon again for now, but I'll try and explain as we go. But the manual here does explain how to play, which is good. Now, this is a thing that is often incorporated into backgammon games, beg your pardon. But never really sort of has a real mechanical purpose unless you're playing for money or points or whatever. But it's incorporated anyway because it's an established part of tabletop backgammon culture. So backgammon is one of the few gambling games in which one can see what the opponent has at all times. The doubling cube introduces strategies of bluffing and psychological play that are similar to other gambling games. The game with chance factor is always present because of the use of dice. A skillful player can lose to a less skillful player because of the luck of the dice, but with the doubling cube added, the more skillful player will not lose as much. As a gambling game, backgammon is played for a base stake, which is agreed upon before beginning play. The doubling cube, represented by the number on the right, starts at 1. This means the players are competing for the original stake. Each time the stakes are doubled, this number changes. 64 times the original stake is the largest amount possible to wager. If the computer decides to offer a double, the doubling cube will move to your side and start flashing. Use the accept double or decline double key to make your choice. If you own the doubling cube and want to double the stakes against the computer, use the double key. The computer will continue to play if it accepts the double, or quit if it refuses the double. So basically, this is a way of trying to psych your opponent out. If you think you're going to win, you double the stakes, and then hand it over to your opponent and say, "Go on then, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough." And at that point, they can either accept that double, which means that they have the next opportunity to double the stakes if they think they're in a good position. Or at that point, they can just resign altogether, which means that they won't, if you're playing for money, they will lose less money because they're not doubling the stakes each time. If a player is born off all of his or her pieces and the opponent is not born off any, the game is called a gammon. The opponent loses twice the stakes times whatever is showing on the doubling cube. And if a player has born off all his pieces and the opponent still has pieces on the bar or in the player's inner table, the game is called a backgammon. The opponent loses 3 times the stakes, but that's very rare to actually get. Right, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 difficulty levels in this, with SB or Super Brain being the highest one. And you can actually turn off the doubling cube altogether. If you don't want to play with the doubling cube, you can just switch it off, which is cool. So this game works entirely using the Atari 5200 keypad. I believe it doesn't use the joystick at all. So we'll see how that's implemented in this version right here. Micro-Gammon SB. So here we get to admire the Atari 5200's high resolution mode, which is 320 by 200 with 2 colours. Which obviously sounds pretty laughable now, but back in the day that was considered to be high resolution. And certainly on the Atari 8-bit there were a lot of people who were very keen to take advantage of that to sort of show off their graphical capabilities. And there's some really impressive stuff that people have done in this graphics mode. Right, so we bring up the menus on this mode by pressing the right analog stick. And then... so we can press this to turn the double on or off. Let's turn it off for now. Let's just have a regular old game of backgammon. And then you press start. So, in backgammon, what you do is you roll the dice. Somehow. How do we do that? Like that, by pressing a button. And then you both of those dice are considered to be one move. You don't add them together like you do in something like Monopoly. So here I can move one piece 5 and another piece 2 spaces, or I can move one piece 5 spaces and then 2 spaces. So you can't move one piece 7 spaces. There's got to be space for them to move 5 then 2, or 2 then 5. And the aim of what we're trying to do is we're trying to get our pieces all the way around the board. So mine are starting in the top right corner, coming around to the left, and then back across the bottom of the board. Yeah, you're trying to get them all in. In my case, I'm trying to get them all into the lower right quadrant of the screen. So how do we control this? I believe we just go cycle move. Yeah, there we are, and that highlights any of the pieces that we're able to use. So if I take this one, and then I say I want to move that one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can move that 5 spaces because there is one of my opponents on the space it would end up on, and that would allow me to capture it. So that seems like a good idea. So let's do that. Hold on. No, I'm getting confused. Sorry. I'm actually moving from the top left down to the bottom left. So I'm just used to playing the version of this that is on 51 worldwide games for Nintendo Switch, in which the board is the other way round. So you start at the top right and come around to the left and then back across the bottom. This is oriented the other way round. I do apologise. Right, so that was not what I thought at all. Alright, cycle move. Let's take this one and move it out by 2. There we go. And that's that, I think. So let's let the computer go. And then it's my go again. And you just proceed like this. So what you want to try and do while you're playing this game is capture as many of your opponent's pieces as you can. Because once you've captured something, they can't move any other pieces until they've got those captured pieces back on the board. So it's really important to try and do that whenever you can. So can I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that can't go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. So I don't think I can capture any at the minute. Right. Let's... Oh. So the trouble is I'm very bad at backgammon, so... It's only a game I actually learned to play very recently. In fact, with the Atari 2600 version that we've previously seen on the series, that is where I learned to play backgammon. And then I sort of refined what I know about the game with 51 worldwide games for Switch, which is a very good version of lots and lots of excellent board games from over the years. Okay, I want to try and minimize having what you call blots on the board as much as possible. So you want to have as few single pieces on the board as you can, because those are the ones that are vulnerable to being captured. Right. Can we get anything useful? No. No. Good. Good. I'm glad. This is what I wanted. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, these are all terrible moves. Terrible moves, I tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4. That can't go there. Oh. I don't like it. Right, I will move that one there, though. And then... this one can go 4. It's not optimal. But I am only playing... No! See? That is why it is suboptimal. Right, so now, before I can move any other pieces on the board, I have to get this one back on the board. Which, fortunately, I can do. So he just shows up there. Can I get that bastard who caught me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Oh, he's got me. He has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that can't go there. So I guess this one. I'll do for now. Oh no, it's happening again, Margaret. Right. So once again, I have to put this back on the board before I can do anything useful. This time, though, I have the potential to do something mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 5 to get that bad boy back on the board. And then I'm going to take this one and move 2 and capture one of his bad boys. Right, so when you roll doubles in Backgammon, you get to use each dice twice. So you roll double 6s, that means you can move 4 things 6 spaces, which is very nice indeed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I can get one of them. That was incorrect. Apparently counting is not my strong suit today. So I've still got 2 more 6s I can use. So let's get some more of these into a good position. Oops. Wrong button. Can't double because we're not using the doubling cube. And then you can also go 6. One thing you can do in Atari Flashback Classics, which I might do right now actually, if I just pop back to the main menu. If you go into the options menu, you can set up the controls. Oh no, in fact they've already set it up. You can set up the controls so that buttons on your controller are shortcuts to some of those functions on the 5200 controller. So instead of having to cycle all the way through to cycle move on that on-screen menu there, I can just press the Y button, which will be much more convenient. Okay. Yeah, that's much easier. Right, so then I can move that. Can I not do that? Why can I not do that? Oh, because I was pressing the wrong button. After everything I said, I was pressing the wrong button. What else can we do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can get this one into a bit of a safer location. There we go. Onward, please. Damn you! You can go 3 because that'll make you safe. And then 5. I don't think I can capture anything with that, which is unfortunate. So let's get this one moving forwards a bit so he's moving into safer territory. The trouble with backgammon is you have to balance. All right. You have to balance getting your pieces as far forward as you can, with also trying to fuck up your opponent. So, oh no, I have to use the 1, which means I can't use the 1 to capture. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yes, I can. I can use the 5. Have some. Oh, this is a dirty game of backgammon. Absolutely filthy. 5 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's use the 3. And then... love that sound. That's such a satisfying sound for taking one of your opponent's pieces. Okay. 3 and 2. Well, clearly, obviously I'm going to do that. Now what? Let's get this one into safer territory. Fuck! So what you actually want to try and do is get at least 2 pieces on every space in the bottom left, in my case, because that means if you capture an opponent's piece, they can't get back on the board. So fuck them. That's what you really want to try and achieve as much as possible. I don't think I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. Nope. That's called a dance when that happens. As it just means you have nowhere to go. So you're just dancing on the spot. Right. A 2 I can use, eh? So you can come out there. And anything I can capture with a 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite. No, that's disappointing. Shame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Okay, gonna have to be something like this then. Oh, you dickhead! It's apparently very bad manners to comment on the luck of people's dice rolls in backgammon. I don't know about calling them a dickhead while you're playing, but sometimes these things just have to be said. If you haven't figured it out already, this is going quite poorly for me. It's by no means the worst possible situation I could be in, but it's not a great situation. Because the computer is making it very difficult to get any of those pieces up the top out. So let's move one of them. And move that one as well. 1, 2, 3. Can't move any of them. Can move that first one. But that also makes them quite vulnerable to being captured. So let's move that one there. And alright, that'll do. Yeah, I'm pretty certain I'm going to lose this one, but, well, these things happen. It's a game of luck. Don't let a real backgammon player hear you say that. They will insist it is a game of skill and strategy, and it is. It is. You can be good at backgammon. It might not initially be super obvious how you can get good at backgammon, but you most certainly can get good at backgammon. I am not good at backgammon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can escape, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, yeah, I can escape one of these. And then you can go to safety. There. Alright, all good. It's all fine. It's all fine. Everything is fine. Now 5 would be lovely, but no, not forthcoming. Okay, so again, I can move one of those there, which makes that safe. And I've got a 1, which is not useful. You go there. Okay. It's not looking good for me, I won't lie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can't go there apparently. Oh, because it's 3 and 2, not 5. I am a moron. Right, in that case, you go there. And you go there. Six. Can you get out with the 6? You can. Marvellous. Right. See, at this point, it's pretty much a race. And the computer very much has the advantage, so the computer is going to win, I suspect. But it's fine. It's a learning game. At least we are escaping that bit of the board. He's still got a fair few to move, though. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Okay. Right. Let's have you get out of there. And you get out of there. Right. The race is on. Well, that's not going to help me, is it? Now he's going to win. It's not fair. So he's got all his pieces in that top left quadrant now, which means that he can start bearing them off. Which means he's just got to roll the right number to get them off the board. Ideally, what you want to do is get all your pieces on your 1 space, because that way any number will get them off the board. But if you've got anything on higher numbers, you have to take the ones that are there. So at the moment, if he rolls a 4 or a 5, he has to move the ones from the 4 and 5 spaces. Here we go. Big numbers. That'll do. Slowly creeping forwards. Come on, finish this punishment. See, his computer opponent is almost in a completely optimal position now, with all of his remaining pieces lined up on the 1 space. Which means that anything he rolls is going to get his pieces off the board. So I pretty much have no chance at this point. But let's see it through regardless. Yeah, it's all over. Yeah, I mean, regardless of how terrible my backgammon playing has been today, you can hopefully appreciate that this is actually a really solid version of the game. It's got a decent computer opponent to play against. It's strange that there's no 2-player mode. That seems like a rather odd omission. But the computer is certainly a fairly formidable opponent that is quite happy to make obnoxious noises at you while you fail to do anything worthwhile. And he got 2 points there because he got a gammon win because I suck. But anyway, rather than putting you through another 25 minutes of that, I will leave that there for today and encourage you to check out Micro-Gammon for Atari 5200, or indeed Homesoft's Atari 8-bit port, which you can find from their website and run on an emulator or a real Atari 8-bit computer. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.